Hello and welcome to So Help Me. I am Stitchwoman and this is my handy dandy helper, Libby. Say hi, Libby.
I thought you were going to give me a nickname. I was going to hurt you. Hi!
No, this is just, that is your nickname, Libby.
Yeah.
Her real name is Elizabeth.
Thank you.
And this is a show where we help beginning sewers learn some fun sewing techniques. And today we're going to be learning an easy lined tote bag. And I guess I have to apologize right off the bat because I have a cold
But she is beautiful.
I'm trying really hard to get through this. So here we go.
Here we go. Squares.
Tote bags.
Oh.
So usually for tote bags, it's easy to just make two pieces of fabric, slap them together, put a seam around there, maybe some handles, and
then you go and you put a whole bunch of books in them, and then they all fall.
But what's nice about this bag that we're making is that it's lined. And by lining, I mean that there's something on the inside as well.
There's a lot of lines on the inside.
So that all of your seams are not exposed. We don't like exposed seams, do we? Exposure. Not so good.
Well, actually, I guess people like them now.
Unless you're going for that look.
But let's stick with that.
But with purses, you don't want to get all your Tic Tacs, can I say that? Tic Tacs and stuff stuck.
Church candies.
Inside
all the
your
sticky
seams.
Church candies.
So we're going to line our tote bag, okay? All right, for size, basically you're going to cut two rectangles, about the same size. Your finished size is going to be a little bit smaller, of course, than what your cut size is.
2 inches less. No, 1 inch less.
So if you want...
Well, because it's a quarter plus a quarter plus a quarter, right? Okay.
So if you want your bag 11 by 14, you're going to cut your squares, your rectangles, 11 and a half by 14 and a half. And of course, if you want a fold in the bottom of it, then you're going to cut it 11 and a half by 29.
A fold? What do you mean by a fold?
A fold in the bottom of the bag instead of a seam.
Oh, so that would only require one piece?
Correct.
2 pieces?
Correct.
Oh, I finally got something right.
Yes.
I don't get that very often.
Okay, so your outside fabric, you're going to cut either 2 pieces or you're going to cut 1 long piece. But your inside fabric, and I prefer the inside fabric to be something light. Otherwise, when you're looking inside your bag, you're going,
oh,
I need a flashlight to see inside my bag. But if you make
you can install lights.
You could. You could do those luminous. That would be fun.
Yeah, that's our next show.
Yeah.
Tune in next time for lighted handbags.
But for the lining, you do have to cut it in 2 pieces because the first thing you do is leave a hole in the bottom to turn it.
Please
we'll
tell
get
me
there.
You close up the hole.
No, never.
Oh.
It's a big pocket throughout the whole thing.
Good.
Okay, so because you have to have this a little bit longer, you also have to add a 1/2 inch here.
Why is that, Miss Darb?
Because you're sewing a seam at the bottom.
Oh.
Make sense?
And what is your seam allowance, Miss Darb?
Another thing, seam allowance? Your seam allowance is the distance from your sewing line to the raw edge.
What is our seam allowance?
Oh, seam allowance usually on these kinds of things is a 1/2 inch. I usually like to do 1/2 inch.
Oh, why not a 1/4 inch?
1/4 inch is a little bit too small. That's for quilting.
Oh.
Sometimes, especially if we want to sew that, hole shut, 1/4 inch is a little bit too small. Not liking that too much. Okay, so I'm going to cut 2 pieces for the inside, 11 and a half by 14 and a half, and I'm going to cut 1 piece or 2 pieces, 11 and a half by 14 and a half, or 1 piece, 11 and a half by 29. Okay. All right, another thing you might want to think about is putting something stiff inside your bag. To put something stiff inside your bag, you're basically just going to get some...
Is this too small?
Yeah. You're just going to get some interfacing. You can iron on interfacing, or you can get some stabilizer.
What about
or
outer facing?
batting. I don't know if there is outer facing. Maybe you could find some. And just iron it on or sew it on to the outside, and then you're going to treat this as just one piece. And that'll make your bag a little bit stiffer. I've actually put batting on the inside of this one, so you can do that too. Okay. I like to iron a crease in the bottom of my outside bag, so that gives me a reference point for the bottom.
Oh,
so I know where my bottom is.
Oh!
I never lose my bottom, don't worry about that. Okay, the first thing you're going to do is sew the bottom of your lining shut, but you're going to leave about 3 inches open. So I've got this whole thing shut. I don't have my side seam sewed shut yet, but I'm going to sew the bottom of my lining shut, leaving a 3-inch opening.
What if you want to make it bigger?
If you want to, well, you can, but then when we sew the shut, then that's more that you have to sew.
What if you want to make it smaller?
Then it's hard to turn the bag.
So 3 inches is our happy medium. Okay.
You. And then I like to iron this open a little bit so that when I do turn it, I'm already got those creases in there. So it's easy to shut. Thank you. I thought of that all by my little lonesome.
Oh, good job.
Okay, the next thing is a pocket. You don't have to do no. You love that thing, don't you?
It's so cute.
The next thing is a pocket. You don't have to do a pocket, but it's nice to store pockets, little things in pockets. You know,
to store pockets in pockets?
like pills and candy and gum and stuff like that. It's nice. So this is the way I do my pocket. I find it the easiest way to do. Phones? Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Cut your pocket the size you want it to be. It doesn't really matter. You're going to cut 2 pieces, put right sides together, and you're going to sew all the way around, leaving about a 2-inch opening.
Not a 3-inch opening?
No, because this is a smaller piece.
Oh, not a 1-inch opening because you can't get that through. Okay.
Then you're going to cut off your corners.
Why are you doing that?
Because that's a very good question. Thank you.
I have a few of those.
The reason you're going to cut off your corners because when you turn it right side out, to try and get this whole piece jammed into that corner, makes your corner fat.
So we don't want fat jamming corners.
No.
Sounds like a band.
It does.
We're going to start a So Help Me
No,
band
we're not.
called Fat Jamming Quarters.
Then the next thing you want to do before you turn it right side out is you're going to iron all your seam allowances to the outside.
Why is that?
Because once you turn it right side out, it's a lot easier to get those even instead of having to try and push them out and then
so this
iron
is
them in
another
place.
great Barbie idea.
Saving tips. It's that Stitchwoman idea.
Yes. And that's what makes us special.
And we still have our hole here, which is nice because then when I turn it right side out, it's easy to sew that shut. Now here's another tip that I have for you. Once I have that pocket sewn all the way around and turned, where's my hole? Here's my hole, okay? Once I have that pocket sewed all the way around and turned, I still have my hole here. But if I want my pocket this way to get in or this way, just make sure that the hole isn't at the top. So when you sew your pocket all the way around, you're also sewing your hole shut.
Unless you want a super secret pocket inside of your pocket.
Exactamundo.
Then you put the hole at the top.
Then yes, if you're a spy, then you might not want to do that. Then you might want to keep that hole open. Very good, Libby.
I think for the average spy.
Yes, you do.
Or something.
Okay. Then the next thing you do is sew up your side seams. Of course, you're going to put right sides together. Sorry.
Those are not right sides together.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is now.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
And you're going to sew your side seams. Once you have your pocket on, put your pocket where you want it to be. And of course you don't want your pocket like way down here. You don't want your pocket way up here, because then when you sew the top, you're going to sew your pocket shut.
Unless you never want to get into your pocket.
That would be another spy thing.
Yeah.
It would be a secret pocket.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can never ever get into unless you need to tear it apart.
Yeah. Then you'd have to have your, never mind. So put your pocket right about there on the right side, okay? So we've got our side seam sewn. Okay, now we've got basically 2 bags. And the next thing you want to do is make, yes, we're going to make the bottom of the bag. We're going to box the bottom.
Box the bottom.
Now, there's 2 ways of boxing the bottom of the bag.
Punch it?
No.
Oh. Wrong type of boxing?
One way is to just actually fold it. I don't like the folded way because I have a tendency not to get things straight. And if I have reference points, then I get things straighter.
Oh, straighter.
More straight.
More straight.
Yeah. Okay. So what you're going to do is take your the smallest square ruler that you have. Because if you have a big one, it's going to be cumbersome and hard to work with. Cumbersome. It's your word for the day, cumbersome.
We do vocabulary here on So Help Me.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get a corner that looks like this, and I'm going to show you how to do that. You're going to take your little square, and it has to be in 90 degrees, and we're going to use our reference points as the seam line. We're not going to use our reference points as the outside edges.
Why not?
Because when you turn it right side out, then you've got, it's too long.
Oh.
And this is, your seam allowance is going to be sewed shut, and that's not going to matter. So, what we're going to do is we're going to cut this, oh, I forgot a scissors. Uh-oh.
I don't have a scissors, I'm so sorry. How did you forget?
In my purse is the scissors.
Please hold while we have technical difficulties.
Okay, we're explaining.
So the word of the day is cumbersome.
No, I got it.
Oh, now we have a scissors. Now we're good.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay.
A hairstylist.
We're gonna cut this out right here. And remember, the bottom is going to be twice the side, one side of your square. So if I cut out a 1-inch square, I'm gonna be, if I cut out a 1-inch square, what?
I hate my father.
If I cut out a 1-inch square, I'm gonna have a 2-inch bottom. So a 1-inch square is gonna give you a larger, never mind.
A larger bottom. We don't normally need larger bottoms, but this case we do.
So I'm going to cut this out.
Who's the producer here?
Oh, my word. Here we go. Thank you so much. Now I've just cut out the square. There we go. Now here's the trick. Here, you got to watch this.
I'm watching.
All right, you're going to take it and open up these 2 pieces. And you're going to match your seams right here.
I'm watching.
And you're going to sew right there. You're going to sew it shut. And you're going to end up with something that looks like this.
Like magic.
Okay? So when you turn it right side out, there you go. There's your 2-inch bottom.
I wish I had a 2-inch bottom.
Well, that'd be a little small.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a little strange.
So there's your 2-inch bottom. Isn't that nice? That's how you box the bottom. Now, one more thing I did want to show you, and that is if it is on the fold, remember that one side of reference is going to be your seam, but the other side will actually be the bottom fold because you don't have a seam there. So you're going to put your 1-inch here and here. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Now you can have your little thing back.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is my little square. This is my
Okay.
pet.
So that's how to make a square bottom. Now let's talk about the handles a little bit.
I have handles.
Yep, you do. Here's my handles thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not being very assistant-like.
That's okay.
Tell me what to do, maybe.
Here's your handles. There are 3 ways basically that I like to make handles. The fastest, probably and easiest way is to cut a piece of fabric as long as I want it to be. Now remember, if you want your tote to go on your shoulder, it's going to have to be a little bit longer. If you're just going to carry it, you know, then your handles can be shorter.
A clutch doesn't have handles, does it? No.
Well, sometimes they do.
A wristlet?
Never mind.
Okay.
So you're going to cut that length, and you're going to cut it 4 times as wide as the width of your finished handle.
Why does it have to be 4?
I shall explain this to you.
Okay.
So let's look at this. Here's our small little itty bitty handle. And I am going to I'm going to give myself a reference point by just folding it in half and ironing that in half, okay? Then I'm going to open that back up again, and I'm going to fold one raw edge to that folded line, the other raw edge to that folded line, and iron that in place. And then I'm going to fold it again. So now I've got basically 4 layers of fabric here. And then what I like to do is I like to take some iron-on glue, and I'm just going to put that in there and iron this hole shut. I still should stitch that, and sometimes it's nice to use a double row of stitching there instead of just 1 row. Another way to do handles is to use a tube turner.
What's a tube turner?
A tube turner is such a fun thing. If you've never seen these things work, they are fantastic.
Wait
so
for
you
it.
just have to cut your fabric twice the width that you want finished, plus
a seam allowance.
1/4 inch.
1/4 inch seam
for
allowance.
this one. Okay? And then you're going to put it over this tube thingy. And you might want to zoom in a little bit.
Why is there? Oh,
if you zoom in, see this
tube
tube right here? We're going to take it and put it over the tube. Perfect. And then we're going to take our little wire. Oh, it bent. Our little wire doofy.
That was probably me back when I was like 10.
And stick it on the end there and get it on the end. And pull through. Watch. Ah! Isn't that cool? Can't believe it bent.
I'll fix it.
Just a minute, I gotta use it again.
Oh.
And there. And you can do this with any size tube. It's so fast and so easy. But you say, Barb, I want my handles a little bit squishy. Aha! We can still do that.
I don't remember saying that.
Yes, you did. I know you did.
Who wants squishy handles?
Nice, because they're nicer on your shoulder.
Oh, isn't that when you just make a wider shoulder strap?
No, not wider. You want them spongy.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
I sort of fixed it.
Okay,
not really.
thanks. We're going to do the exact same thing, but once we start pulling, we're going to take our piece of batting and stick it in there.
It's
and
scary.
look.
It's like a worm.
It is. And you just keep pulling. And now you have padded handles.
Squishy handles.
Isn't that nice?
I have never thought of squishy handles.
Well,
now
you
squishy
can.
handles.
Okay, and then the last way to make a handle is getting, you know, just some webbing. You can just purchase your handles, but I like to
What if you want metal handles?
I don't know.
Okay, never mind. We don't do metal handles on So Help Me.
No, I guess not. You can just cover your webbing, because this was old webbing. I cut off something else and it was dirty, so I just covered it.
Can't you just
After
wash it?
I washed it.
Okay. Is
And
it
then
still
I covered
dirty?
it. No. Well, yeah, it was kind of yucky.
Oh, that's...
So I covered it.
Congratulations.
Right. Okay. So now we've got our handles on. And to put your handles in, you're just going to measure where you want them to be.
That looks like a nice lunch pail for Libby.
I know, I can do that. So I've got pins here where I want them to be, and I've got them pinned. Now when I pin these on, I like to use at least 2 pins. So I'm going to take, and that way these don't shift, because sometimes they shift on you.
Oh,
so
shifting handles.
Take those and put right sides together. I'm going to match my side seams. Pin that in place. I'm going to match where I want my handles to be. Use 2 handles. And then I'm going to just sew all the way around. Okay? Once I've sewed that all the way around, I'm going to pull my lining through my purse like so, if I had sewed this all the way around. And then you end up with just your regular tote.
Ooh, it's not a regular tote, it's a So Help Me tote.
This is a So Help Me tote.
Because it has a ladybug on it. It's a Stitchwoman tote.
Yes.
Whatever happened to Stitchwoman? Is she ever coming back?
I am Stitchwoman. I told you that at the
beginning. Look, I fixed it.
Thank you.
I fixed it.
Okay, now let's see some different things that you can do with totes. Here is just a few samples. This for handles, the only thing I've used for handles on this one is grosgrain ribbon. And instead of
what ribbon?
Grosgrain ribbon.
Oh. So like Miracle Grow ribbon?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Not, okay.
No, I don't know why. And what I've done is I've just made a buttonhole at the top instead of attaching them. I've made a buttonhole and tied a knot in my grosgrain ribbon and pulled it through.
Kind of like a, ouch, kind of like a, I dropped this thing on my foot. Present bag, bag that you buy from the store, a gift bag. There you go.
And then,
I should just stop talking.
At the bottom, I've put some plastic stuff to protect it from the elements. Like sometimes you put them in the bottom of your car.
Or this could be a pocket.
Or it could be a pocket.
Make it into a pocket. Look, I'm bleeding.
Another thing you can do,
don't drop this on your foot,
is you can make simple tote bags out of recycled drink boxes.
Drink pouches.
Drink pouches. That's all I've done with this. I've sewed the drink pouches together, and you can make, can you like help with these?
Well, if you tell me what to do, yes. I'm sitting here fixing your tools.
You can make them long, or you can make them wide.
Short or stout?
And then, of course, we do have to line it, because otherwise it would be yucky. And it's purple lining.
Doesn't smell like grape anymore.
Very easy tote and recycle. Okay?
Reduce, reuse, recycle. I can hand things to you.
Thank you. And this is an old sweatshirt that we turned into a tote. And the handles are actually
sleeves.
Sleeves. Exactly. And I put a pocket on the outside of this one. But this was an old sweatshirt that I really didn't like, didn't want to wear anymore. But I still liked the, the outside of it.
Tulip time!
And this is I took the ribbon off the bottom and put it on the top. Oh. So the closure would be a little bit smaller.
And there's no lining.
Let's look at that other one over there.
No lining?
Let's look at that other one over there.
Boxed corners though, boxed bottoms.
This one is a variation on a tote, but it also has a zipper on the top of it. So that's really nice. And I made these 2 things crazy quilting. We had a class on crazy quilting where I work. And it was just easy to turn it into a tote. If you don't know what to do with something,
make it into a bag.
Make it into a bag. I make bags a lot.
Yeah, we have a lot of bags at home.
A lot of bags.
It's kind of
And then we have the tote on steroids.
Oh, Lordy.
This is, this had a few problems, which I corrected.
Oh.
This is basically two totes in one. Because I made a short purple one and I didn't like it. So I wanted it taller. Don't lose that. So I wanted it taller. What I did was I made one that was taller to go with it. I stuck the big tote inside the little tote. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets.
Holy cow.
On the outside. Because this was one whole tote and this was one whole tote. And I just stuck one inside the other. Another thing that you'll see sometimes with totes is that they'll have the handle going all the way around.
Like a beach bag.
Yeah. What it does is it allows you to carry some pretty heavy stuff so that your handles aren't just attached to the top or to the seam. They go all the way around and it allows you to carry some pretty heavy stuff.
What is this, Miss Beth?
Also, what happened with this tote was it was kind of floppy. And I didn't like that. So, what I did...
No floppy totes.
No, I didn't like the floppy
Not like flippy floppies.
No.
No floppy totes.
You could put flip-flops in there, though.
Because it's a beach bag, sort of, on steroids.
So what I did is I took this and I folded it over and I created a casing, okay? And if you've ever gotten boxes in the mail that have...
Ribbing?
Webbing.
Ribbing.
Plastic. What would you call this stuff?
Packing ribbon.
Packing webbing around boxes. I mean, it's really stiff and you cut it off and it's hard to get in the garbage because it boings out again.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. What is it called?
Banding.
Banding. That's what it is. So what I did is I took that and I put it through my casing and now you'll notice that it stays nice and open. It doesn't flop on me anymore.
Oh.
Then,
interesting.
Because it stayed open
You're very
all
innovative,
the time,
aren't you?
I had to create something that would close it.
Oh my gosh.
Because I solved the problem too well. So then I created this flap, and I couldn't find a button that I liked to go with it. So
this is what I have to deal with.
I took puffy foam of all the colors that were in.
Puffy foam?
Uh-huh. And I turned it into a button and I sewed it on. And then I used one of Libby's hair ties.
Hey!
And sewed it into the little thing that went around.
This is just like a recycled bag,
I couldn't make a buttonhole big enough.
Oh my goodness.
So there we go. And now I have
a bag on methamphetamine.
Bag on steroids. And I love the
doingies.
Yeah, the beads. I like the beads.
She has beads on everything.
I like beads on stuff.
Everything.
So there you go. I hope you have enjoyed our tote bag show.
On methamphetamine.
And we hope that you come back next time to see more fun stuff on So Help Me. And remember,
keep looking up. Bye-bye.
Bye.